session, we're going to deep dive into the flourishing individuals and training organizations in the digital era. And for this session, I'd like to invite our next speaker, Mr. Sunil Hasmukharay, Group CEO, HC Consultants Group. Hello, let's give him a big round of applause. Please come and join us. And our moderator, very familiar face, someone who has been very energetic and keeping us all very happy for the past 3 days. Let's give him a hand, Dr. Roy Lai, President of Singapore Training and Development Association and IFTDO board member. So, Dr. Roy Lai, I'll give the stage to you to start this session, please.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you. You know, I know this gentleman one dimension. I only saw his photograph many years ago. And then I went to Kuala Lumpur. He came three-dimensional. I met him face to face. And I'm so impressed with him actually because he's doing so many things. And at the same time, you can ask Vasan, I think he's here, but at the same time, nobody tells me where to go most of the time. But for him, he just says, come KL next week. I don't know what went to my head. I really came to KL the next week. So you see how much for this gentleman here and how much I respect him, how much I love him. Ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce him, can you give him a round of applause, please? Thank you very much. And keep the applause going, later. Cannot stop. Let me share with you, because there's some things that he's renowned for, and even I respect him for that. So now Sunil is with CSP, Certified Speakers Professional, by the Global Speaking Federation. A global expert in change management. Yeah, I've heard story of that, my friend. Culture transformation and strategic talent development. 24 years, my gosh. He has delivered keynotes and coached more than 450,000 people in 49 countries. And 120 countries remotely. That is a record. Okay. He has also designed 250 solution-focused, strength-based intervention, impacting more than 1,000 companies across Asia, Europe, Middle East, or Middle East friends. I also know him as a prominent facilitator training with Petronas. Which is one of the largest, some of you Malaysia, where? Malaysia still here, yeah? Yeah, lah, my support, clap. Thank you. Okay, so one day, we were having dinner. Someone brought us dinner. And he was sharing about his transformation consulting. And I stopped eating my food. I'm serious. I eat halfway, and he shared what he has done. And then I can't eat anymore. I was too stunned to continue eating. Oh, by the way, I was eating bird's nest. Yeah, but I had to stop eating because I didn't hear the detail that day, but I'm looking at the detail. Your achievement is transforming a 3-year, 15 million euro loss-making organization into a positive of 25 million, bringing in 40 million euros within less than 1.5 years. So if you have 1.5 years to spare him, I highly recommend it. You get a better bank account. You see, they say yes. Okay, anyway. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure this got something for us. Right? I'd like you to give him full attention. And before I hand the mic over to you, can I hear one big round of applause to welcome Sunil, please? Sunil?
Thank you very much, Roy.
All over to you.
Thank you, brother. Good afternoon, Indonesia. I barely can hear any energy after lunch. Good afternoon, everyone. Flourishing individuals, thriving organizations. Every organization wants to thrive. Yes? Every individual wants to flourish. Yes? So then where is the missing link? Technically speaking, if every individual is already flourishing, we are able to then go into a space where organizations will start thriving. Then where is the gap? So, that's exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you. But before we get there, I invite you for a moment, just 30 seconds, to please close your eyes. Put your mobile phones away, get disconnected, because only when you disconnect, you can literally connect. All right? So I invite you to take 5 deep breaths. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and the last one, breathe in. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Let it go. Let all the unnecessary extra work and stress you have off. Get off the screen for the next 30 minutes, and I promise you, insights, awareness, and maybe a little bit of a heart pain. Right? Because you might realize that you already have very little time on earth, and yet you are juggling and firefighting and doing 355 things, and yet still not achieving the goals that you have in mind. Can we do that? Yep. Right. So quick introduction on top of what he said. It's important for you to know that my purpose in life, after nearly having 3 near-death accidents in Malaysia and in Africa, is to flourish individuals and thrive organizations. It is not something that I just randomly came up and just said, oh yeah, let's do this for the fun of it. This has been my tagline for the last 15 years. Ever since I knew what the meaning and the deep meaning of flourishing is, and the deep meaning of what thriving organizations would be, that became my purpose. And like, our friend, my brother said, I've been doing this for more than 24 years. And you'll be wondering, that young boy on stage, 24 years, how does the maths come up? I was invited to speak at United Nations to 3,000 people when I was 17 years old. So you do the maths and you know my age. 49 countries. I'm just waiting to hit the 50th country, hopefully in the next couple of months. Right? 450,000 people. It's just been an absolute pleasure and joy. Right? So 4 important things that I think you really need to know. And you might be hearing this a little bit, so I won't waste too much of time, but let me give you the facts. 1, automation and AI is here. It's going to stay. You like it or not, you have to live with it. Yes? Agreed. But what does that come with? Burnout. Globally, there is enough statistics and data to show that burnout is happening rapidly. And that's the reason I told you, put your mobile phones away for a while, put your laptops away for a while, and just be here in the moment. Just enjoy yourself, be present. And that's what we've been missing out in life. So burnout crisis is real, it's continuing to happen, and more people are going to be leaving organizations because of burnout. Right? Mental health tsunami. When tsunami happened, right, and hit Pondicherry, a good friend of mine was still there, and he told me how traumatic the experience was and how it hit the shores of Penang. Right? But this mental health tsunami that is actually happening without us realizing is something that's causing so much. Here we talk about value and ROI and all that stuff. Do you know 1 trillion per year is lost Not according to Sunil Hasmukharay, but according to World Health Organization. Next, the grace disconnect. More and more people are starting to disconnect. The younger generation, they cannot be in a social environment. They have difficulty talking to people. They just can't go up and say, "Hi, good morning, my name is Sunil, nice to meet you, where are you from?" They can definitely send you a message on LinkedIn. And I'm sure each and every one of you who is on LinkedIn would have been getting spam messages continuously from people who are marketing. But I've built HC Consultants Group, 15 years, 49 countries, with zero social media, with zero website, and I take pride in it until today. Absolute pure friendships, relationship, work with one client, goes to the next client, the next client goes, 15 years. And even till today, I'm struggling when my country director, Lata, for Malaysia, keeps insisting, "Can I have a budget for websites? Can I have budget for LinkedIn marketing?" I'm still struggling to say yes, to be very honest with you. People need to post 1 million posts to get 5,000 friends and followers. I have not posted probably more than 100 in my entire life. And I have 25,000. The point of my story, dear brothers and sisters, is I think it's time that we go back to the real center of life, the human. I'm not saying disconnect with technology, AI and all. We need to use it. But let not the technology control our lives. So let me ask you, be very honest to yourself. You don't have to tell this to anybody. I won't ask you to speak to your neighbor and share this with your neighbor. But ask yourself, how happy are you really? There are people who I know who are multi-billionaires, but they are very, very lonely. They are very, very depressed. They are very, very sad. And I also know of people who are so poor, who are struggling in life, but yet they go to sleep in peace. Next question. If your boss is next to you, don't even whisper. Okay? But ask yourself, how happy are you really at work? Dear friends, flourishing is honestly the gold standard, right? Not defined by Sunil, but defined by the father of positive psychology called Marshall Goldsmith. And through this model called PERMA, P-E-R-M-A, positive emotions, engagement, positive relationships, meaning, purpose. If you remember, during the opening ceremony, the minister, right, of manpower of Indonesia said, meaning and purpose was the third important pillar for him. And he realized that people in Indonesia don't have that. It's not people in Indonesia. When I walked him out, I shared with him, I said, "Sir, it's a global issue. It's not only your country, it's everywhere. People have no purpose. People don't have a clear meaning of what they want to do in life. We are born, we chase after money, we want power, we want position. At the end of the day, when we die, all we need is a 6x6 coffin. And then everything else is gone." The sooner we realize that, the happier life will be. So, I give you a quick opportunity to reflect how flourishing is your personal state. I've got 5 statements over there. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. 1, not true at all. 5, very, very true. I give you 2 minutes to very quickly assess. And again, keep the number to yourself. Don't tell your neighbor. Even if your neighbor is your husband, don't tell him. Right? So I feel my life has a clear sense of purpose and meaning. I experience positive emotions such as joy, gratitude, peace regularly. Not once in 3 months. Regularly. Right? Having challenges in life, having difficulty, having ups and downs simply means you are alive. That doesn't mean you are having a problem. You have a problem when your life is monotonous. Because even when you go to the hospital and they plug all the wires on you and the monitor shows up and down, it simply means you are alive. The moment it goes like this, straight line, what happens? Oh my God, please arrange for his funeral. We need to get rid of his body tomorrow morning. 3 days later, nobody will cry for you. 5 days later, only your wife and children or your husband and your children will think about you. 1 year later, they'll put food just to, finish the prayer. After that, they will not even remember who on earth are you. Reality of life. Right. So if you have this course, number 3, I am deeply engaged in things I do, often lose track of time. Right? Number 4, I have a strong, supportive relationship that brings me connection and belonging. 5, I am capable, confident, and able to make progress towards my personal goals. Right? So total that, and you will find if you are really at the highest level of flourishing, you will actually have 25. Right? And anything below is in between that. And I hope that gives you a quick sort of a feel, a sense of where you might be. So now my question to all of you, trainers, HR leaders, board members, chairmen, senior leaders in organization, is there a relationship between flourishing individuals and thriving organizations? Of course, my brother Isa says, of course. Others? Yes? No? Okay, how many of you say yes? Put up your hands. How many says no? Put up your hands. How many don't know? Put up your hands. Okay, very good. So can I take a conclusion that IFTDO 2025 has agreed that there is a direct relationship between flourishing individuals in organization and thriving organizations? Yes? Okay, we shall minute this and publish this officially. Alright. Flourishing is not only good for people, but a very, very smart business. But the challenge is, I was having a very good conversation with the International Bank's chairman and HR director just a week ago before coming here. And you know what the HR was telling me in front of the chairman? Sunil, we did so much for our people on well-being. We have started Zumba classes, gym classes, swimming classes paid for. You name it, we have done it. But still we find that this well-being issue is not solved. Does well-being get solved by merely providing all the facilities they need? That's the biggest mistake and that's the biggest failure in the design. Because Gallup research shows clearly people who are engaged will be able to thrive. And you can see the statistics there. 59% are likely to look for a job, 23% more profitable, 21% more productive, 17% more customer-centric. Alright? Then, Harvard Business Review, 16% of people have better performance, 125% less burnout when high levels of vitality and learning is happening within themselves. 32% have greater commitment and 46% better job satisfaction. What does this tell you? Flourishing individual is not about making people feel good. It's not about, I have done my well-being task. It is part of my KPI, I sudah buat. It's not about that. It's really, really a performance amplifier. Right? And there's enough of research. To be honest with you, as I was finalizing this presentation yesterday night and this morning, I found I've got more research and evidence to support everything that I'm sharing with you, but I don't have enough time. Right? So I'm going to show you a few, and the rest you want, I can give you as data, as evidence. Right? Oxford University did a study together with the BT study group. Right? 13 out of this is a 1,800 people study, yeah? 13% more productive in sales and service. They worked faster, they made more calls, and they converted to sales more effectively when people flourish. Right? Shaw Aker, right? The happiness guru or the happiness advantage author, right? 37% higher sales, 31% higher productivity, 19% higher accuracy of work. You want more? There's a lot more, but because of time, I've put it as my appendix and I'll share that with you if you want later. Right? So the question is our workplace currently designed to be a catalyst or a barrier for flourishing individuals? Again, if your boss is there, don't shout out too loud, okay? Can I tell you by research, the answer is barrier. I'm going purely based on data, facts. Even though I have got my own observations after traveling to all these countries in the world, I'm only showing you facts, data, figures. Right? So what are the 5 things? Number 1, psychological safety deficit. Right? It's a huge concern in organizations, which is making it a barrier to flourishing individuals. Number 2, poor leadership and significant lack of empathy. Number 3, lack of meaning and purpose. Can you see it's coming back again and again and again? Right? Meaning and purpose. Because when you have got a purpose, when you have a meaning, you can make mountains move. Right? But when you don't have a meaning and your purpose and your meaning and your purpose doesn't get connected to what the organization wants to do, right? You will just do the bare minimum so you can afford to get your salary and pay bills. Right? Next, inequitable work culture and the lack of inclusion. And for those of you who know the 4 levels of psychological safety, you might know that inclusion is the first level of psychological safety. So technically, number 1 and number 4 are already interrelated. And finally, an overemphasis on productivity at the expense of our well-being. People take pride. Hey, I was working till 2 a.m. last night. I was working till 3 a.m. last night. My emails were going out at 4 o'clock in the morning, guys. Do you know how important this is? We are working really hard. I'm telling you this from my own experience. I am that guy who used to take pride. Today I take pride making sure I have 7 hours of sleep. I take pride in making sure I take my dog for a walk every morning. I take pride having time for my prayers in the morning, and then only I start my day. Right? So these are the things that people used to take pride in. So then my question to you, dear HR leaders and friends in the training world, if organizations and HR leaders fails to act, what's going to happen? All costs is going to go up. Costs, culture will turn into toxic. Ownership will start dissolving. Silent exiting will start multiplying. Transformations will stop or slow down. And finally, people in the organization will be using your internet, your table, your aircon, your facilities to actually do other part-time businesses. Alright? That's the cost if you and I don't do anything. And it's not again about giving gym membership, swimming club access, recreational club access. And that's the reason why 5 big transformations that we did turned out to be very positive, whilst many other organizations who tried to do change collapsed. Right? So, what do bosses want? At the end of the day, right, what do people care? Yes? Results. Shareholders, stakeholders, business owners, they are interested in results. Where does results come from? Results comes from actions. The actions that you and I take. Right? When I talk about results, it is basically the 3P, the productivity, performance, and profits. And where does this come from? Actions. Action comes from beliefs. Where does belief come from? Any wild guesses? Very quickly. Values. What else? What else? Hurry up. Sorry? Identity. What else? Culture. Okay? The answer is experience. The experiences that you give your people will shape their beliefs. The beliefs will shape the actions, and actions will shape the results. So when you talk about driving change and driving transformation, the focus should be on experiences, not action, not the high-level way of working only. It's really at the fundamental roots. All right? So is change easy? Is change easy? No? Yes? Is anyone going to jump and say, Yahoo! Yeah! We can easily do change. Do you want to experience how change might look like? Can you all quickly stand up? Quickly stand up. Suddenly when the time comes on, I get a bit more nervous. And then the screen is so small. Oops. All right, find a partner, face the partner very quickly. Find a partner, face a partner very quickly. Roy,
Yes.
come here.
Yes, coming.
This is a demonstration.
Yeah, coming. No worries, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I say one. Listen up, huh? I will say one. Roy says two. I say three. Then you say one again. So 1,
2,
3.
1.
Okay, stop. That's exactly what I want you to do. Go. Faster. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hurry up. Faster.
2, 3, 1.
All right.
2, 3, 1.
Pause.
3.
Pause. All right. We are going to do a change. We are going to change.
So now you
Number one is no more number one. Number one, stamp your feet. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you replace number one with the stamping of the feet. Go.
I go 1. Yeah.
Faster. We are driving change, guys. We need to transform the business. Hurry up. Faster. All right, pause. We have to do more. Move. Replace number 2 with a clap of hand. Replace number 2 with a clap. So, stamp your feet, clap your hand, 3. Stamp your feet, clap your hand, 3. 1, 2, 3, like this. All right, give everyone a big round of applause and please be seated. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Right. Can I know at what age did you learn 1, 2, 3? In Malaysia, we are taught 1, 2, 3 when I'm 3 years old, maybe. In India, at what age do you all learn 1, 2, 3? 6 months. 6 months. That's why they are super advanced. We counting money. At what age were we throwing tantrums, if you remember, and stamping our feet? 3 years, 2 years, when we went to a mall and we want to buy something and daddy didn't have enough money. Right? But yet is it now at the ages of 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, when we have to do that same exercise, it becomes difficult. The moment I introduce a change, the mind goes a little bit confused and like, oh shucks, what do we do now? So change sounds easy, but it's not. Right? But we do need to do it. Right? So there are a couple of important evolutions, and I'm going to make reference to a few researchers here again, so you understand what are the evolution in HR that we are talking about. Last time, when you talk about employee motivation, it's always about the satisfaction. It's about the motivation. Today they are talking about experience. What's the kind of experiences are we creating for employees, which refers to well-being, mental health, about feeling safe, it's feeling home, feeling belonging. Right? Does this get mapped beautifully? Right? Who knows who is RBL Group? Dr. Dave Ulrich. Yes? Right? So Dr. Dave Ulrich's research is mapped against what I've just shared with you. That what we need to focus on is no longer the employee satisfaction survey. It's no longer the, what do you call, motivation. Let's do a team building. Let's jump. Let's have fun. Let's run. Has no value. Has no impact. You're just wasting money. Right? So, experience first. 2, right culture. A culture where people feel accepted, a culture where people feel good, a culture where people feel safe, a culture where people can flourish. Right? And next, HR, agenda and purpose has to be outside in. It's no longer the administrative duty. Recently we've been talking about strategic HR. But honestly, that's also outdated. Today, the HR has to be a person who is literally the driver behind the organization. Because you have access to all the manpower. Right? So you can literally be shaping the business. But what are we doing? Chairman says or the CEO says, we need to hire 20 more people. Yes, okay, I'll find you good people. We need to do a leadership development program. Okay, let's do. So ask you one question. Is HR a profit center or a cost center? Is HR a profit center or a cost center? You say profit center, but your management thinks you are a cost center. Right? Most managements, they look at HR and say, that's a cost. And that's why when economic crisis happens, the first thing that happens is cancel training. Sounds familiar? Right? So I think there is a very interesting perspective that I got from Dr. Jack Phillips, and Dr. Patty Phillips. The perception of HR intervention is either we are a cost center or we are a profit center. And if we are an investment and we are a profit center, it means budgets will be maintained, budgets will be enhanced, and the budgets will even be protected, no matter what. But the point is, can you and I, as HR practitioners, as training organization leaders, make sure we prove the true value to organizations? I think, and this is my challenge to the IFTDO family, right? Can we find a way, through all the intervention and the work that we do, show and help organizations and HR become profit centers? Show the true value of what you do, right? And of course, ROI Institute has got some very interesting models. But the point I'm trying to make here is ROI doesn't come from doing more. ROI comes from designing better. It is not about randomly doing a yearly training need analysis, asking 1,000 people, what training program do you want to do? What is your development plan? Dear managers, as part of the yearly personal development plan, kindly update us what are the programs that your team members in the organization needs to do. Please update the Excel sheet and let us know. And then, 300 people needs to do PowerPoint training. Sir, Mr. Mark, I heard you are a very good PowerPoint trainer. Please send me your quotation. Sir, you are also very good. Please send quotation because my boss needs 3 quotations. And then, okay, Mark, you are selected. You have got 300 people to train. Please give me a discount. You get where I'm coming from? right? It's not about doing more, but it's really coming from a space of designing it right, right? Next, the most important thing that we need now is human connection, which is currently missing, right? So leveraging on technology for digital HR or transformation, what's really important is the connection, the human connection, right? And this is where the easiest, fastest way to start it off is to create enough psychological safety within the organization. And these are the 4 levels of psychological safety. If you can't even make people feel included, let alone asking them to speak up. If you cannot even let people make mistakes and learn from their mistakes and you coach them through, forget about them trying to contribute effectively to the organization. And if they're already contributing and you do not allow them to challenge your thought process and challenge my thought process, right, and give a different perspective, of course, with respect, with humility and all that, right, then what safe space are we talking about? So, all of this brings me to the DNA of what organizations need to thrive in the digital era that we are talking about. The DNA is 2S. You know, my name is Sunil, and I'm very, very passionate about the name I have. So all my acronyms must also start with S. First, strengths-driven and solution-focused. Right? The DNA of all organizations is strengths-driven, solution-focused. And then I came to Todak, right? Building a strengths-driven, solution-focused leadership, coaching, culture helps to drive flourishing individuals and thriving organizations, right? And just to very quickly share with you the SHIFT framework, the first one is strengths. Strengths-driven leadership activation. And I still recall as I speak to you now, an experience where I was working in Petronas for 10 years. For 9 years, I had an amazing boss, Mr. Rezana Malik, and I've never mentioned his name in any stages of the world that I've gone to. He always knew that Sunil's strength in facilitating strategic bird-eye view, bringing difficult conversations and facilitating difficult conversations at the very highest level of organizations can be very good, so let him keep doing that. For 9 years, I was doing all of those strategic, high-level stuff. And then comes the 10th year, the year which I was anyway planning to leave the organization. We 4 friends who were really the high performers in the organization were moved to engineering excellence. And you know what happened? Rezana Malik wasn't our boss. We had a new young manager who wanted to show his power and wanted to show that he's so great. And he kept telling me, Sunil, you are so bad in Microsoft Excel. You don't even know how to do Primavera. You don't even know how to do Microsoft Project. I'm going to send you for training. And he spent about $7,000, sent me to Google, sent me to Microsoft, sent me to, project academies to learn all of this. When I came back, I still told him, Saleh, I can't. It just does not give me energy. I am not a computer Excel person. I'm the big picture guy. Throw me in front of a crowd, I'll get my magic done for you. He just refused. And all the 4 of us were purposely rotated in the name of holistic development. Sounds familiar? Sunil, I want you to become more well-rounded. As if I'm not well-rounded.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay? And the best part is, 2 people went into severe depression. 1 person attempted suicide 4 times, and he was on medical leave. And 1 person decided to throw his resignation 24 hours and walk out of the organization by taking 3 months of medical leave. And that's me. Every week, I used to get different friends to arrange for medical leave for me. 1 day or 2 days. And towards the last part where I came to the breaking point, I went to a specialist, got my backbone scanned, and I realized I do have a severe backbone problem, which is the L4, L5 compression. And I got myself a 3 months leave and I walked out. From the vice president to the senior general manager to the 3 managers invited me for lunch, apologized and hosted me a good farewell. They didn't want to accept my resignation, but I just refused to continue. That is why I went around the world talking about strengths-driven solution focus, because I went through the pain where my leader doesn't focus on my strength. All right? Human-centered culture is the H. Next, insightful, future-focused conversation, right? Focus on the future, not on the past. Doing root cause analysis doesn't get you anywhere. The problem is we take tools from manufacturing world and try to apply it in the human brain. And all of us have gone through either the training or delivered training, problem-solving, decision-making, the 5 why. Why? Why? And that leads to what? That leads to root cause analysis, leads to problem talk, leads to blaming culture, leads to finger pointing. Next, flow-centric growth, where you help people really discover their own meaning and purpose so they can flourish. And finally, a thriving work culture where there is a lot of trust, because trust builds accountability, and accountability will drive the 3P: performance, productivity, and profits. All right? So, if you, your team, or your organization is interested to shift, then I have a simple gift for you called the Shift Assessment, the Shift Readiness Assessment. Later at the end, I'll give you a quick QR. You can send the information. You can download everything there. So everything that I've done in the last 15, 18 years around the world, it's primarily based on 3 primarily approaches: the solution-focused approach, the positive psychology, and the appreciative inquiry. All right? And this is the model which has helped transform 5 mega transformations that I did. And I'm going to share my personal model with you. First, we look at individual strengths. We went down to analyzing individual team strengths. And finally, we used appreciative inquiry to draw the wisdom and strengths and capabilities within the organization. And using strength-based strategy, what we did is to shape and focus on the heart. The heart of the leaders and the heart of the organization was strengths-driven, solution-focused leadership, coaching, and culture. And the second part of the heart was the positive well-being. And that was the fundamental strategy that we had used to drive the productivity, performance, and profits. What was the outcome? Now, this is not other researchers. This is my own experience over the last 7 years. Number 1, we saw employee engagement improve. We saw higher accountability culture. We saw greater, happier work environment. We saw a positive work environment. We saw staff morale start to boost, and they felt happier and they felt good. They were excited to do stuff for the organization. We also saw better psychological safety, because the moment you shift the way you speak and the kind of words you use, you will be able to create that safe space for people. We reduced burnout. We saw a major improvement in retention. I mean, I wish at that point of time when I did all of this, I had ROI methodology in my pocket. I didn't. Right? If I did, I would have actually measured the ROI of retention, right? And improved well-being. And finally, the 3 Ps were achieved. So dear friends, this is just to give you a quick summary of the 5 major transformations. I can't mention names because every organization, I've got a very tight NDA. But in Malaysia, there was a government-linked company making 150 million euros. 150 million, 120 million, 2 years of intervention, 43 million. Another MNC based out of Netherlands, that's all I can tell you, 1.13 billion, we brought the business up to 1.48 billion, 315 million ringgit Malaysia. The one that Roy mentioned and the one that I'm most humbled and proud of was a company where the MD calls me saying, Sunil, we are making 15 million euro losses year on year. I have been now asked to go in and turn the business around. I need your support. We went in, we made a major transformation. We brought in 40 million euros in less than 1.5 years. Another oil and gas company in South Africa, 60 million US dollars. We brought in 49 mil. And finally, an SME based out of Indonesia, a transformation happened. These are all personal experiences. And what is really important is not the knowledge. Is to now get to a point where you turn commitment into action. So as I go into wrap up, and I know there's only 7 more minutes left, the question I have for you, dear friends, if I can invite you to stand up once again very quickly, because my brother there is already waving to me, 5 minutes bro, 5 minutes. Okay? Just quickly spend, the 2 minutes next to one another, people next to you, and just share with them the 2 things. Number 1, what are your personal 3 key takeaways? And number 2, what is the one thing are you committed to doing differently in your own life moving forward? Very quickly. Okay. Ask one. Okay. All right, thank you very much. Bring that to a close and please give a big quick round of applause to yourselves.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, can you continue the clap for Sunil, please?
1 second.
Yeah, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Dear friends, let us be that drop of water which creates positive ripple effects everywhere we go. And I want to remind you again and again, you and I are not immortal. Today we are here, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Life is really very short, very, very short. I'm sure throughout the last few years, you yourself had friends, family members who were way younger than you who have kicked the bucket. Right? So life is really short. My invitation to you, brothers and sisters, dear friends, let us aspire to inspire before we all expire. Thank you very, very much.
Yes, once again, ladies and
really,
gentlemen.
really appreciate all your time and effort. Thank you. Thank you.
Sunil, now I know how that money can. So I free can?
I can. You free, you free. So before I forget, this is the QR code. If you just scan and put your info, the team will immediately send you the Shift Readiness Assessment, ROI Institute Patty Phillips gift technically, show the value of what you do. This presentation pack, if you're interested, also will be there. And a positive well-being booklet that was built by Lata, which was authored by Lata for all of you. So just scan the thing, put your confirmation.
Can you stand up, please? That's Lata. Please give her a round of applause too. She's a pillar of HC Consulting.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you again. And can we have just one question, please? You know what I mean, right? One question. Anybody? Calling once. Yes, that's one question. So we only do one question, okay? Because I would like to stand by the next group coming up. Thank you.
Okay. Boleh sekarang?
Sekarang boleh sekarang.
Hello?
Yes, Ibu.
Okay. May I ask you questions?
Sure.
Regarding the psychological safety, I understand that employee would like to have psychological safety in the organization. However, my understanding is psychological safety usually in the hands of the management. Yeah. So, what you suggest? Yeah, that the management also pay attention to the psychological safety. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibu. Let's give her a big round of applause. That's a brilliant question. Psychological safety doesn't start with the bottom. It has to start from the top. All people managers, all leaders needs to know the fundamentals of psychological safety. They need to know how to create the safe space for people. In addition to that, when we sort of empower everybody in the organization, including the lower levels, they will be able to create psychological safety for their peers, for their friends. So in that way, the whole organization is sort of insulated and is able to create that safe space for one another. So you are spot on. It is true. It should start with the people leaders, the people managers, right? But we should also allow everybody to experience and learn it because it will enable one another to support within the organization. All right?
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Give a round of applause again. Sunil.
Thank you.
I want to end this by giving you another hug. You don't mind, yeah?
Thank you, brother.